Welcome to Reddit Red. Today's story is going to come from a subreddit named Insane Parents. Now, I want to read the community details to give you guys some context for those of you that have never visited this subreddit or have never heard of it. So here they are. r/insane parents is a weird place where you can post those crazy parents who post in those woo-woo anti-vax groups on Facebook and do things harmful directly and indirectly to their children. We want to be a place where people can come and both get support and laugh. So this sub is a mixture of both the heartbreaking and the hilarious. Come and join us, especially if you have your own stories to tell or your own social media content to post. Okay, now that you understand the context of the sub, let's take a look at some of the posts. The first post is titled, Mom Puts Baby on the Floor at a 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee. Now, at face value, you see a picture of a mom that seems to be helping her young daughter with something while her infant is laying on the ground at her feet in a 7-Eleven. You may be thinking, how is this a valid post for a channel that turns text into audio? Well, this is where it becomes valid. A Redditor commented below the picture, claiming to be the actual mother in the picture. Let's take a look at her response. Yep, this is me, guys, and I have no regrets at all. Was it trashy? Sure was. Did I have another option? Sure didn't. Let me set the stage for you and answer a few questions. We live in Arizona. It was an extremely hot day, well into the hundreds. Baby was roasted in her car seat and angry. I wanted to take her out to help cool her down. We had just left the park and I thought it would be a great idea to help us cool down if we stopped and got the kiddos their very first Slurpee. The child in pink is my own, and although she looks like she's 6, she's actually only 3 years old. Almost 4, so no, she cannot be trusted to hold the baby. The other child was one of my preschool kiddos. I ran a home preschool, so no, this isn't my first rodeo. My daughter had never had a Slurpee before. As she tried to get the lid on it, she squeezed it and it popped off, spewing Slurpee everywhere. I attempted to help, but my baby was making it impossible to do safely, so I had no choice but to set her down as fast as I could. Did I want to put her on the floor? Oh my god, of course not. But I also had a Slurpee crisis spewing everywhere in the hands of my other two. I told my hubby when I got home, you will never believe what I just had to do. And then we laughed our asses off, and how parenting is pure survival at the worst of times and how much things can change from the first kid to the second kid. Oh, and lastly, my baby girl is/was absolutely vaccinated. Was it a gross option? Sure was, but she also once tried to eat a dog turd. So I think a little perspective might be in order. I'm pretty sure she escaped the ordeal relatively unscathed. Would I have let a stranger help me, either hold my baby or help my oldest with the Slurpee explosion? Absolutely, but I don't see anyone rushing to my aid at this moment, do you? Thoughtful of them to snap my picture though to capture my Mother of the Year moment. So yeah, I'm that mom. You may henceforth refer to me as Slurpee Mom if you'd like. This is why context is so important. At face value, you might see the picture and not think twice to say she's a bad mom, but with the context she provided, you might find it justified. It's worth adding that she was showered with praise from commenters that related with her situation or just loved the fact that she owned the moment. The next post we're going to review is titled, My Friend's Dad's a Pastor. My friend went to go see it. The picture presented is a screenshot of a conversation and it says it's from Dad, and it reads, I am absolutely against you guys going and seeing this movie. We are to stay away from the very appearance of evil. Yet you want to run towards it? The character of Pennywise, created by Stephen King, was created to be the scariest thing that children fear the most. It manipulates and preys on the fears and nightmares of children and avoids detection of adults. In the detailed description of the movie, Pennywise is a cosmic evil force in one description. It is a demon that inhibits a person in another. So you go right ahead and go see this. The top comment reads, I mean, they fight the evil with the power of friendship and bravery. Surprised he doesn't preach about the film. Which he is kind of right. But as other commenters mentioned, the books are completely different from the movie. Just be glad that Dad is talking about the movie and not the books. Now, the next post is a cross post originally posted on r/AITA. For those that aren't familiar with the acronym and the subreddit's purpose, it stands for Am I the A-hole? People post stories there and Redditors comment on whether they are in fact an a-hole or not. The post was originally removed from that subreddit for reasons unknown to me, but here it is. My daughter and husband hate me because I wanted to track her. AITA? Spoiler, yes, you are. For context, my daughter is 16 and I'm 45 and my husband's 47. We also have a 14-year-old son. Recently, I had a night out with some of my friends. Husband didn't come, had to stay home and watch our kids, plus he didn't feel well. And the moms in the group began talking about our children. One of the moms talked about how she just got this app on her son's phone that allowed her to see where he was at all times. I asked for more details, and she said it was a great way to see that her son was on task and where he was supposed to be. I believe her son is around my daughter's age, if that matters. So I thought about it for a couple days and decided I would tell my daughter to install this app on her phone. She freaked out and said that there was no way she would have me invading her privacy more. She said that the majority of her classes were AP or honors, she's done nothing wrong, and that I should trust her. I told her that if she had nothing to hide, why would she care if I got the app? She said that it was about her privacy, that she needed boundaries, and I needed to respect them. I told her that was ridiculous. I'm her mother, she's only 16, she lives under my roof with things that I pay for, and if she keeps talking to me this way, she was going to be grounded. She said whatever, she would rather have her freedom taken away by force rather than have to give it up voluntarily. I took her phone and laptop and grounded her for 2 weeks. I discussed this with my husband and he got extremely upset with me, saying that he agrees with our daughter. I tried to explain my reasoning, but immediately got shut down. He also said how it was wrong of me to only get the app on my daughter's phone and not my son's. I also tried to explain this to my husband, but once again, I got shot down. Now my daughter and my husband are both extremely upset at me. My husband has suggested family therapy, but I think that is over the top. Most of my mom friends that I have asked have agreed with me, minus a couple who think I'm overstepping. Am I in the wrong here? This is why I like subs like AITA. It gives people an opportunity to step outside of what is potentially an echo chamber to get a new perspective on their thoughts. Unfortunately for her, this one definitely deserves a spot on Insane Parents. This next post is titled, Unlikely You've Heard About a Mother Like Mine. I am a reasonably adjusted 50-ish-year-old father, husband, and successful doctor. My mom died 5 years ago to this very day. It's time for stories to be told. Here's one to give you a taste of my home life when I was a child up to the age 20. My mom had a form of histrionic personality disorder, basically a persistent pattern of excessive attention seeking to the exclusion of all else. In any room, in any venue, public or private, she would do something, anything to draw attention to herself from her own family. It didn't matter if strangers noticed or not. It was important to her that we knew anywhere we were, she had to be the center of our attention, and she would create circumstances to make it so. There was also an element of control that came into play as well, many times over. In our home, my brother, father, and I came to know this about her quite early. No doctor had to put a name to it, or was it even recognized as a dysfunction. And it started when I was about 7 or so. When I was 8, we visited Switzerland as a family. I recall vividly having lunch on the Matterhorn, a famous mountain there, and my mother having a tizzy because her meal was overcooked. My father quietly said as we left that at least she had the chance to eat burnt steak on the top of the Matterhorn. While my brother and I chuckled, she glared at us for a moment before proceeding to calmly walk over to a guard railing near the very edge of the mountain and stepping over it while saying, "It's probably a 500-foot drop here. Would you still be laughing if I jumped?" In those days, there were not the 15-foot fences and safety nets to prevent accidental falls. Needless to say, people came from everywhere, some screaming in German to be careful and to climb back over, while still others were just like deer in the headlights. I recall my dad walking gently over, whispering some words, and then my mom calmly climbed back over. She got in the cable car with the rest of us, and no words were spoken the whole way down. When we got back to the hotel, we had a small talk. My brother and I still traumatized by the whole event. She went on planning the rest of the trip that night as though nothing had happened. Our family life was like that on the daily until I moved out, age 20. And my dad, brother, and I just learned how to see it coming and avoid the inevitable by adjusting our reactions around her. Never once did anyone discuss mental illness or dysfunction, although we all thought it to ourselves. I didn't mention before in the explanation of the subreddit that there's also a voting feature for posts. People vote either insane, not insane, or fake. As I read this post right now, the current count is 13 for insane and 0 for the others. This last post is titled, How Dare You Bond with Your Daughter? It's a question that seems to have been posted on Facebook. It reads, how old is too old for bedtime stories? Stepdaughter is 10 and has been acting like a little kid needing to be read to at night by the father, when she doesn't do enough independent reading as it is. She can read fine and actually enjoys reading, but something about this seriously irks me and messes up the bedtime routines which we have been doing religiously for almost 2 years. Now, somebody commented back, wow, you're shitty, your husband reads to his daughter. And on that note guys, we're going to end the video here. Insane Parents just hit 500k members, so congrats to them, and if you like today's stories, head over and check them out. All story links will be in the description below. As always, feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time on Reddit Red.